Good afternoon. Welcome to the Friday, June 19th, 2024 public meeting of the Kingston City Land Bank's Communication, Community Engagement, and Fundraising Committee. My name is Mike. I serve as the moderator for this meeting. We do ask that members of the public limit their comments to no more than 2 minutes per speaker. And with that, I turn the meeting over to the committee chair, Mr. Bartek Stardak.
Okay, well, well, so we already resolved one issue, but no, we haven't, because we haven't started the meeting yet. All right, let's item number one is this communications position. And so Nate drafted, this is a conversation that Rebecca started a few months ago. Well, I guess it sort of started with the RFP that we did for social media management. And Nate, you sent around a job description that I included in the agenda link, but maybe Nate, you want to talk through that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, and I know that we just turned the recording on, but query whether this, because it deals with staffing, does this actually go into executive session?
I
I'm
think so.
fine if we don't want to, but yeah.
I think so.
And then motion to go to executive session, I guess.
Second. Are you asking for a motion, or I'm seconding the motion you just made?
I was moving and you were seconding.
Yeah. So then.
All in favor? Yeah, favor? Okay, yes. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is to discuss the fundraising campaign that we had talked about last time. And I have in the agenda, I have a link to some assets or kind of topics for this campaign. But first, I guess just to start with some basics. The timeline of this would be to start once we're ready, hopefully as soon as possible. End date on or around September 30th. That would be connected to whenever we start our marketing period for the first 4 homes, which is approximately October 1st, but subject to change. The goal that we had talked about is 100,000 to raise. And based on Mike and Kyle's calculations, that would make 6 homes be more affordable, going from 80% AMI to 75% AMI. That's if we have all 6 homes part of that $100,000 campaign. So I guess I will pause there to see if everyone understands that or thinks that's realistic. One thing Mike had mentioned is perhaps we just focus on a couple homes or 1 home, which would make that 1 home much more affordable, rather than making all 6 homes just slightly more affordable. So any thoughts on that from anyone?
The timing seems tight for 100K. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Say we get the campaign up and running like by the end of the month. That gives us 2 months. Like, can we on average get like 50K for 2 months? And what's historically like a slow period, like donors aren't on vacation, like you can't really get in touch with like corporations for like corporate funding, and they move slowly when you do. Like 2 months seems very tight for 100K. I mean, let me know, what do you guys think? And also the time, maybe if it was like closer to around, I feel like October to December, there's such a bigger emphasis on fundraising, just given like the marketing of like Giving Tuesday and like other campaigns like nationally that people like just associate with like, you know, oh, let me get all my goals for charitable giving like done before the end of the year, but I would think if we have 2 months to do it, I would say let's focus on making 1 or 2 homes like more affordable versus all 6.
And to add to that, just because Kyle and I took a look at the financials before the meeting, like ran the numbers on 1 or 2 homes. One home, if we were to raise $25,000, it drops it from 80%, 72% of AMI. And Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that means $50,000 would drop 2 homes to 72% of AMI. So something to think
that's
about.
correct.
Thanks.
So maybe decrease our goal by 50% and just focus on 2 homes. I mean, another possibility is like, we say the deadline is September 30th, but we extend it as needed.
Well, the
Or-
challenge
or-
with that, the only reason I would say there's a challenge with that, and it might be worth considering then targeting the final 2 homes, which would be sold later in July for a campaign at the end of the year, or extending the campaign out. We need to list like the sales price. When we
Oh,
take it
right,
out.
for the marketing period.
I
Right.
see.
So
It would delay the marketing period by however,
that
which
could also
just delays the whole thing, but
Could I make a
We can't-
suggestion? Like,
can't do both.
is there a way we could have like an internal goal and then a lower public facing fundraising goal? And I only say that because I think it will look better if we have a goal that maybe we end up exceeding versus like coming up short.
Yeah, I think like the psychology of like, oh, look, our team wanted to raise like X amount in this period and we surpassed it. Like, that's a good step to like show people just the psychology of like, oh, these people like get stuff done, even though our track record of the actual work we do on the homes proves all of that. I don't want to minimize that at all. But
so maybe do we want to just focus on 1 home and set the goal of, you mentioned 25,000 to get it to 70? Can we do like 72%? Can we get an even number? 70% AMI or something?
I'm
But
guessing Kyle's
yeah.
furrowed brow maybe getting you to 70% right now.
yeah,
Yeah, it'd be 30,000 for a 2-bedroom home. 32,000 for a 3-bedroom home. Drop to 70% AMI.
all right. What does everyone think about that?
I think that sounds good. I
yeah,
mean, considering this is our first major
Mhm.
fundraising push and our track record on fundraising is not that great, other than like some random very large donations we got at the end of the year. I think that sounds good. I
Okay.
just don't want to like overshoot.
do we have like a list of past individual donors or that way like let's make sure we like blast the campaign to them like early, like there's always a likelihood of like repeat donors from people who have already donated. And is our goal like focused on targeting individual donors, or also like do we have a working list of other corporations or organizations to reach out? I don't know if anyone has started that. Maybe Ethel, I don't, if she's thought about it at all. But so individuals is like where we're focused on.
I mean, the only corporation is I did have a conversation with RBW last year. I don't know if you remember that. And they were trying to get involved, but we couldn't quite make it work, but they're still interested. So, I'd obviously go to them.
That's the lighting, their
Yes.
lighting.
Yep.
Could we ask some of the other groups we already work with? Like, only because we already have a relationship with them and it's not a huge lift, like Ulster Savings or M&T Bank or whatever banks we work with, you know, some of those ones where it's at least we have a relationship and it's not just like cold calling a company.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I think a lot of them do set like in their budgets, like local community donations and other like efforts like that. So it doesn't hurt if anybody has those contacts to start
Mm.
them.
Yeah, Mike, Kyle, I don't know if you guys have a list of just like businesses we work with across the board and who a good contact might be.
I'm typing it into that Excel sheet, everything I can think of off the top of my head. But yes, we can come up with some.
Okay, one question on the, Kyle mentioned this is for the 2 bedrooms, and which are, I guess, do we want to identify the home or just keep it open among the 6 that are under construction? Any thoughts on that? And which are the 2-bedroom homes?
2 bedrooms are Abbey, Gill, and Grand. 3 bedrooms are Chapel, Hasbrook, and Stefan.
Okay. Thanks, Nate. Wait, I guess now I'm just thinking about the process by which families are placed into homes, right, in the lottery. And it seems that if there is a lower income family that has a preference for one of the 3 homes in particular, it seems like it's better to just leave it open, right, rather than identifying a particular home. Am I getting that right?
I wish it was that way, but we have to advertise with specific sales
Right.
prices. I wish you could do it like
Yeah.
that, but we would have
Okay,
to.
so we do have to identify the home.
Yeah.
And we're focused on one of the 2-bedroom homes.
Yeah, so Abbey, Gill, or Grand.
And Gill would not be sold until July, just for context. Abbey and Grant would be sold before that.
Then maybe Gill makes the most sense. So if we have to extend our campaign, we have some cushion to do that. Because what happens if we advertise it at a price, assuming we're gonna get the fundraising and we do come up short, we come out of pocket for that, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, then I would say maybe Gill, since it's one of the later
All right.
homes to be sold.
Okay. So my only other topic to discuss is sort of just like all the assets and all the language around that. And I think some of what we decided today is helpful for that. I think the one thing that is still potentially missing is just photography, which is helpful for fundraising. Obviously we have a lot of exterior shots, but those get kind of old. So I think we're talking about interior shots, or like what else are we showing? Anyone have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes a big impact, and
Yeah.
to see like the before and after of like the work of the talented team, because a lot of people have difficulty visualizing like conceptually what it would be like, but you say, look at our track record, like homes 1, 2, 3, 4, and so like gorgeous, and families are happy and, you know, living with a great, like, stable home. And neighbors are happy, hopefully.
So I'm looking at the photos of Gil, for instance. These are from 2019. Okay.
We will be walking that site. We will be walking that home monthly starting now.
Okay.
So I think August 8th is the next walkthrough. So either I could ask Owen who does take photos every month for the purposes of documenting construction work, to maybe have an eye towards showing the same photo every month. So that could be a monthly photo. Or somebody could accompany him, obviously, or I live 2 minutes away if we really need a photo.
Okay. So
Do we have a rendering for Gil?
Not that we can use. There was a rendering that was submitted with the architecture RFP, but that architect did not win the RFP, but they did a nice drawing. We could license it. I could send it to you if you're interested, to the comms committee. This person who did the rendering is also very likely going to be our renderer for the city's RFEI response on the Grand Slam bar.
Mhm.
How about I send the sketch around, see if you like it?
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, just given the timeline of when, like, if we want to set like a year-end date for this campaign, since we have some time until July, and then we can extend it as necessary. And like the month, like, walkthrough photos will be awesome. Just don't know if, like, in the early months, like, people will, with all the work that needs to get done, people will be like, okay, they'll see progress, which is nice, but maybe not yet the final result.
sorry, I'm muted. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to be the finished product. It just needs to be an engaging photo. Right?
Yeah.
Also.
I'm sorry, I'm just remembering something. We were talking about Gil as if it's finished in July. It's actually one of the first 4 homes to be finished, despite the
Oh,
fact
okay.
that it's starting today. I forgot, the last 2 homes will be Grand and Hasbrook. So maybe you want to pivot based on that information to one of those 2 homes? Or
Sorry, Gil is not going to be sold in July.
no, Gil will be sold this year.
Okay, understood. And then the 2 later ones that you mentioned, those are 3-bedroom homes.
Grand is 2-bedroom is what Kyle said. So
Grand.
actually, what you're saying, Mike, is actually should be Grand. That's part of the campaign, because that's the one that's going to be sold next July.
Yeah.
Okay, not Gil. Okay. Okay, so maybe some work needs to be done on the photography still. Potentially, is Grand one of the walkthrough ones, Mike?
Are we going to Grand monthly?
Yeah, or not yet because of the construction timeline.
Potentially, it'll be a
Okay.
slower construction
Okay,
updates on those.
but I'm sure it could be opened up as need be.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
Might just not see a lot of progress.
Sure. Yep. Okay.
Awesome.
Anything else needs to be discussed for this campaign? I think photography and assets are really the only thing that are the one thing that need to be worked on particularly. The other thing I wanted to ask is about our donation page on the website. Can that be easily edited, Mike? So I'm talking about this.
Give Gab donation.
Yeah, so like if we do like a progress something, it's just all easily editable, editable.
I'm seeing the Google sheet. on the
Okay,
screen?
hold on,
Is that,
hold on one second.
I think I know what you mean. I believe
Uh,
it is. I can figure it out one way or the other.
So this one,
When you click on donate now, it says donate to our 2024 campaign. So I think I can end that campaign and open up the new one. If,
okay, once we're ready, okay.
yeah, once you're ready.
And it has a goal, 20,000.
Gotta have a goal.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else to say on this campaign? Okay.
No, exciting.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I'm glad we lowered the goal, and I'm also glad that we're focusing on just one home in particular, one specific home. So I think that's good. The mixer. So Barbara, you had heard from some folks, camp and rough draft, right? And it seems like basically they were like, well, when do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Um,
And do we want to have one at each? Because I
Oh,
like
yeah.
kind of indicated to them, I'm like, we are like kind of looking to maybe like make a series or like
mhm.
do this in multiple places, just in case we did get like feedback from several places being like, yeah, we want to have you guys like
Yeah.
listed.
Yeah.
So think rough draft said the first 2 weeks of August. Yeah, they prefer early August, and Camp Kingston said September works for them.
Okay. Do we feel like we have our stuff together to do early August? That's really soon, or schedule something in September? Maybe a rough draft first, or no, a camp first, or both.
That could be good.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing is I liked to do it once the campaign is live,
For sure.
right? So September feels better for that. Do you, in terms of location, Barbara, do you have a like preference for where, if we were to start somewhere, which location would be better?
I mean, rough draft has been open longer, so I feel
Yeah.
like people just know it better. Or, are more people are probably in the community familiar with rough draft versus Camp Kingston. But I think you can't go wrong with I mean,
Okay. Well,
they're both busy. They're both busy places, like
Right.
whenever I've gone to both. So they do a good job of attracting,
Mhm.
people to come into their business. And I think there is like that kind of, there's like have you been to Camp Kingston before? Yeah, so like I feel like there's more space available maybe because they have those two like back rooms
Mhm.
if we needed to set up, but they're both kind of very similar offerings of like coffees and drinks and
And I've only been in Camp Kingston once, but I think they have a projector in that back room too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Should we try it rough draft first? And then maybe one question is which night of the week? Like a Thursday night, maybe, where we're there.
Yeah, I would say like a Thursday or a Friday, like
Or a Friday.
yeah.
Do you want to maybe write to them then and say, hey, we're looking at September, Thursday or Friday nights?
Yeah.
Would any of those work?
I think Thursdays and Fridays are you're probably going to see like more local community residents at either of those places. Like the weekend, like fall weekends, we still get a lot of people from out of town.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll write to so I think rough draft said they're away like for 2 week, like mid-September. So should we, if we want to do September, should I start with Camp Kingston?
Okay, okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah, sure.
And then I can ask rough
Mhm.
draft about something in October, or
Yeah, just say maybe we'll be in touch with you for something in October.
yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And next is demolition of 177 Murray. And Mike, you have a fun topic.
I had it. Thank you. I had an offer to bring into this committee. An associate offered last night to fly their drone as we demo Murray Street. I don't know if that's helpful for this committee to have that footage, but I plan on at least having it. So to the extent that's useful for some sort of media update, I think we'll have that in a couple of weeks. We don't have a date confirmed for the demo, but we're hoping it's in July.
And it's a free service that they're offering, like, to do that?
Yeah, it's a friend, so it better not
Oh,
try to
yeah.
charge me. I'll give him a beer or
Okay.
something.
And is it is it photo or a video or both?
I think we can get both.
Great.
We can get both. Yeah. So
Yeah. If he's willing to put the time in and do that, I say let's take him up on the offer, and then we'll figure out how we can use it.
okay, no guarantees. It was just a kind of a cursory sort of, oh yeah, definitely let me know. I'll do that for you.
Yeah. No, but any opportunity to get cool marketing collateral, and even
Yep.
just for like archives of the projects is, I think, worth trying it.
Awesome.
And thank him for us.
I will.
We can write a
Right.
nice thank you note for him if it comes out. Good.
And then you had put in here a list of potential newsletter items, which I think is all straightforward. I did have one question. What's TDC? You said approaching $10 million in TDC. What is that
Sorry.
total
Development costs.
development costs?
So
Okay.
we're getting close. I wanted to mention it. It won't happen with these 6 rehabs, but in projects under construction or completed, we're at, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere around 8.5 or $9 million. So is that right, Kyle? That's the
Yeah, I think that's the number I got.
so I just thought that that's a cool milestone as an organization. So with our next project, we would be there.
Okay.
So this would be for after the 6th, after homecoming.
We may start another one before they finish, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just not homecoming.
Yeah.
Okay. Exciting.
Well,
That's a huge milestone.
it'll be a long time to get to 100 million. So it's a good one.
You guys have the time, right?
Hey,
To work towards it.
certainly. And yes,
Yeah, I guess the time and the grit to get to it.
we also need the money.
That too. One day,
Okay, we'll get there.
day by day.
Okay, does anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? Okay, well, thank you all. Have a great weekend.
Great.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye. You too.